Now for our story. This morning, in the office of Captain Rouseau, chief of Chicago's Homicide Division, Aunt Mary Lane faced a desperate, urgent situation. She was fighting for the happiness of her niece, Peggy Douglas. She was fighting, too, for Carla Descary's expected child, and for a reunion between Carla and her husband, Mario. She was staking everything on the long chance that Captain Rouseau would agree to help her find Mario Descary.
Look, Mrs. Lane, suppose you give me some details. So far, you've only told me this man Descary disappeared from Wakefield, and that you have reason to believe he's somewhere about Chicago.
Yes, of course. I can't expect you to make a decision without having all the facts. I'll try to boil it down, since it's rather a complicated tale.
Fine.
Well, as I told you to begin with, Mario Descary had a quarrel with his wife. He was jealous of her. Always has been, I guess.
Jealous?
And
do you know whether or not this jealousy had any basis?
I know for a fact that it had none whatsoever. But you see, somehow or other, we don't know yet who was responsible, some rumors were spread around Wakefield. Rumors which linked Mario's wife and my niece's fiancé, Bill Meade.
You don't say. Bill Meade, hmm?
Yes, Captain Rouseau. But believe me, there was absolutely no truth in them at all. Bill's devoted to Peggy. Why, he and Peggy are good friends of the Descarys.
Mm-hmm. But doesn't it seem rather odd to you, a story like that springing up out of nowhere for no reason?
Yes, it does. And just lately I've come to a theory about that. But it isn't really part of the present problem. I mean, the damage has been done, and what I want is to straighten things out. In any case, Mario Descary is a quick-tempered young man. He had this quarrel with Carla, lost his head. There was some sort of a scuffle, and Carla fell. She struck her head, and Mario must have believed he killed her.
I see. Believing he'd murdered his wife, Descary left town. Is that it?
That's right.
Still, I don't see how this affects your niece, Mrs. Lane. Seems to me it's principally a problem between the Descarys.
But the point is, the reason Mario and Carla quarreled was because of the stories which had been circulated about Mario's wife and Bill Meade. And Bill and Peggy are engaged. Don't you see, Captain Rouseau, many people in Wakefield believe those stories were true.
I think Bill Meade was playing around with Descary's wife, hmm?
Yes. Bill's already lost his job because of it. He was working at the bank. And he'll never be able to get another job in town unless the whole matter can be straightened out. And the only person who could straighten it out, if we could only find him, would be Mario himself.
And yet, if he's still under the impression that his wife was unfaithful...
That's why it's so important that we find him. We've got to talk to him. Bill believes he'll be able to make Mario understand how false the whole thing is. Don't you see? We've just got to find him.
Tell me, Mrs. Lane, did Mrs. Descary agree to charge your husband with assault? You say she was injured quite badly during their quarrel.
She suffered a brain concussion. Was in the hospital for some time. But Carla's still very much in love with Mario, despite what he did. She just wants him to come home. She's that sort of a woman. There's another factor, too, but this is a secret. You see, Mrs. Descary has just learned she's going to have a baby.
Oh, I see. Well, naturally, then, if for no other reason, this man ought to be found, returned to his home. Especially since, as you say, his reasons for leaving weren't valid in the first place.
Yes. And that girl needs him so much, Captain Rouseau. Aside from how the situation affects my own family, I keep thinking of Carla. She deserves happiness. Lots of it. If it weren't so terribly important, I wouldn't have taken the liberty of asking your help. I'm aware that it's not a situation your department ordinarily handles.
Well, that's true, Mrs. Lane. And yet, this is one time we're going to depart from hidebound rulings.
Captain Rouseau. You mean you'll help?
Yes.
You don't know how that relieves my mind.
I feel we owe it to you, Mrs. Lane. And I'm sure Sergeant Jackson will gladly work on it, too. Even if it's on his own time. After all, you kept me from making a very serious blunder during that Conley affair.
Well, I tried to give you the benefit of my own knowledge of Lefty's character. I knew he wasn't capable of doing such a dreadful thing.
What if you hadn't stuck to your convictions and made me listen? The wrong man might have been punished. As it was, Well, I owe my promotion to that case and its successful outcome.
You deserved it, Captain Rouseau.
Thank you for believing that, Mrs. Lane. Well, I want you to go home now and wait for a report from us. First, I'll need a complete description of Descari, of course. Then leave the rest to us. If Descari's anywhere in Chicago, we'll find him. You can rest assured of that.
But at that moment, the young man upon whom Aunt Mary's hopes were centered, the young man Captain Rouseau confidently believed he could trace, was not in Chicago. Mario Descari and Anna Bartok were some 30 miles out of the city. Anna was driving a car she had rented for the day. It was a bright, clear day. The countryside was beginning to show traces of green. The neat farmhouses and barns stood proudly encircled by the rich fields. For a long time, Mario had been silent. He stared out the window, an expression of longing in his eyes.
Why are you stopping?
There's such a nice view from here. Thought it'd be a good place to park and have a smoke. Pack of cigarettes in my bag, Mario. Give me a light, will you?
Okay.
Thanks. Gosh. Pretty here, ain't it?
Yeah.
How does it stack up against Wakefield?
Oh, this is good country.
But you like Wakefield better, don't you?
What's the use of comparing?
Mm-hmm. Just wondered how you liked it around here. You know a lot more about the country than I do. To me, it looks pretty good. Look, Mario, those trees over the edge of that field. They look kind of nice, don't they?
Poplars.
Hmm. And look at the red roof on that farmhouse. All looks so tiny, neat from here. Wonder if the people who live there are happy.
I wouldn't know.
Mario, what's the matter? I thought you'd get a kick out of getting away from the city. Mario, you ought to quit thinking about what used to be. It's no good living in the past. All you get from looking back's a pain in the neck. Why don't you look straight ahead?
Yeah. Straight ahead. Into nothing.
But it wouldn't have to be nothing. We could make it anything we wanted to, Mario. Honest, we could. Mario, if we bought a place, don't you think
I
you...
haven't any money. I left everything in Wakefield.
That's okay. You don't need to have any money. If I sold the rooming house, I'd get enough to buy us a little place out here somewhere. We could get a cow and a horse, chickens, whatever you wanted.
Oh, you're crazy, Anna. You'd last about one day on a farm. You think it's all like this, ain't it, from a distance? So it looks like the picture on a postcard? Well, it's not. It's hard work. You'd hate it.
No, I wouldn't, not if you were there. Mario, it's worth giving it a try.
Suppose we did try it. You'd sell your place. Then when you found out you didn't like it, you'd be stuck.
I'm willing to take that chance. Remember, I told you I lived on a farm once when I was a kid. You don't understand, Mario. I've been fed up with my kind of life for ages. This is the first time I ever seen a way out. I don't want to lose this chance, Mario. You say you'll never go back home, but you can't stay in the city. You don't belong there. I'd kill you, finally. But if we had a little farm, maybe you'd begin to forget the past. Because then you'd have something in the right now in the present. Mario, please say you'll do it. I'll turn the house over to an agent to sell. I got enough cash so we could start out right away looking for just the kind of place you want. Think of it, Mario. We'd never have to sleep in that awful dump again. All I want's a suitcase full of clothes. I'll leave everything else. Start out all fresh. We could go back now, pick up our things and beat it. Tomorrow we'd start looking for a farm. Our own farm. Yours and mine. Will you do it, Mario? Will you?
Mario Descari turned to look into the girl's face. Her love for him had changed her. She looked fresh and girlish as she spoke so hopefully. Perhaps she was right, Mario was thinking. And in Chicago, Captain Rouseau was confidently setting the wheels in motion, certain he could find Mario Descari if he were in the city. But you may fail, Captain Rouseau. By the time you start searching for him, Mario Descari may have already left Chicago for good.